Hi, my name is Ralph Averbach. I run a self-catering business in Edinburgh. I'm born and brought up in Edinburgh, lived away for a little while, bought a conversion that had been warehouses for an auction house in the new town. Bought that conversion back in, I think it was 2002, 2003, thinking I would live in it. Life gets in the way. When I came back to live in my hometown, I had got a wife, a family, a cat and a dog, and I ended up moving to East Lothian. So pretty much from about 2004, 2005, I've been running the self-catering business continuously since then. It's been an absolute core part of what we've done as our major part of our day-to-day income for that entire time. And I think the thing that really worries me in much of the debate that I've heard is people have no conception of the fact that the vast majority of people who are running places like the one that I've got, they own one, it's their main source of income. It's their in many cases, if it's not their livelihood, they've basically plowed all their assets into it because they've banked on it being their one and only pension. And suddenly thousands of people are faced with the very real possibility that they are going to be criminalized and made illegal by a so-called licensing scheme ostensibly meant to be about health and safety, but which is being weaponized by some councils, Edinburgh and Glasgow being very notable, to essentially go after local Scottish operators. And the tragedy of it is that we see this happening to real people, real local people who, been working at this in some cases for decades, whilst, councils like Edinburgh are welcoming with open arms new generation of apart hotel developers who are being basically handed brownfield, former retail and office space, brownfield and city centres, which they are developing for apart hotels and squirreling the money abroad. So it's tough times on any number of levels for people who are currently in self-catering, many of whom will be forced out of self-catering if things go ahead as they currently are. In Edinburgh and Glasgow right now, through the way that councils have chosen to misinterpret, as the Scottish Government would argue, because they've told them otherwise, the legislation, they're requiring, this is on particular, I would say, to Edinburgh and Glasgow, they're requiring people to go through the charade of applying for planning and being refused. So they're paying thousands to jump through a planning hoop that they get cut off at the knees at, and they can never get to the point of even applying for the license, which is meant to be about health and safety, which it very clearly isn't about. It's about quite a bit more than that. So we are faced with a very challenging times, but the reality is people will be affected. Lots of people, local people, they're going to lose their livelihoods, they're going to lose their income, and I think that's wrong. I think there's a massive issue there that needs to be addressed. I'm not against, and never have been, the notion of registration or licensing, but the application and the imposition of it needs to be addressed so that it does not decimate huge parts of the Scottish hospitality offering, which in many cases people have been, it's been a constituent part of what we do in Scotland since 1947 and the start of the Edinburgh Festival. So yeah, we have issues that need to be addressed, but real people are being affected. This is not abstract, this is reality.